Rachel placed her palms on Yevgeny's shoulders, her voice calm but pointed. Didn't we agree? She asked. Cheyenne gives you to us, and in return we leave that woman alone. Cheyenne nodded slightly. We did, he said. But Eugene just admitted the food was delicious. Yevgeny flinched and Cheyenne continued. Which means he's now our permanent guest. Nothing to be done about it. Rachel narrowed her eyes. Is that really how it is? She asked. Leaning down to Yevgeny's ear, she whispered, Go on. This is your last chance. Straightening up, Rachel gave Cheyenne a cold smile. In that case, consider our contract dissolved. I'll be back for that woman. Yevgeny hesitated, then slowly stepped toward Cheyenne. Rachel called out after him, Do you understand what that means? Cheyenne took Yevgeny's hand, meeting Rachel's gaze. Do what you want, he said firmly. But I'll beat you. Again and again if I have to. Yevgeny stared at him in quiet shock, taking in the determination on Cheyenne's face but saying nothing. Later, Cheyenne repeated with the same firmness, I said exactly that. Irritated, he turned toward Yevgeny, who was seated beside him at the table. So why are you still here? A woman approached, setting a fresh plate of food in front of them. What kind of question is that? She asked. You promised to take care of the kid. Weren't you saying something about staying at my house? Cheyenne opened his mouth to respond, but she cut him off with a laugh. It's fine. Can you even cook for yourself? She teased. Besides, it's more fun with both of you here. While she continued setting the table, she mused, Who would have thought our mothers would be friends? Cheyenne gave a small nod, though his mind was elsewhere. He thought of the two forms Rachel had shown them, each one different, but both undeniably her. His thoughts drifted until the woman interrupted. You can stay too, she offered warmly. You don't have anyone at home, do you? Cheyenne hesitated. That's not necessary. Before he could finish, Yevgeny stood and bowed politely. Thank you for your hospitality, he said sincerely. He couldn't afford to lose this opportunity. Suddenly, the woman gasped. Wait, I forgot to ask your name. Yevgeny, he replied. Cheyenne sighed, running a hand through his hair. This is too much, he thought. Realizing it was his first time at Huang's house, he looked around, noting the drying sneakers on the balcony. His eyes settled on a door. Is that Huang's room? He asked. The woman nodded. It is. Why? Can I go in? He realized his voice sounded distant, almost dreamlike, but he moved toward the door, opened it, and stepped inside. It was a simple room, just like the ones he'd seen in films and TV shows. Books on shelves, notebooks on the desk, a lived-in quiet. His eyes landed on a photo of Huang and his mother, a typical, happy image of a normal life. He picked it up, staring at it. I don't understand this, he thought. Maybe because I've wanted it for too long. It was a simple family, nothing more. But in his mind's eye, he saw Huang sitting in this room, his mother bringing him food with a smile. A quiet, peaceful life. Happiness. Staring at the photo, Cheyenne felt a pang of regret for being part of any of this. Back at the table, Yevgeny wiped his mouth with a napkin and closed his eyes. That was delicious, he said. Thank you. He thought Cheyenne was still in the other room. This is my chance, he told himself. That was the best omelet I've ever had. The woman looked at Yevgeny, puzzled. I'm sorry, what did you mean? He hesitated, then clarified. Were you talking about the egg roll? She nodded, but before she could say more, Yevgeny spoke again. Can I ask you a few questions? Of course, she said kindly. Do you have anyone besides your son? He asked, subtly slipping a hand beneath his jacket, feeling for the hidden gun. Like, a husband? She hesitated, caught off guard. After a moment, she smiled gently. Someone's waiting for Huang's father in heaven, she said softly. We had to let him go. Yevgeny lowered his gaze, repeating her words. Someone's waiting for him. A thought dawned on him. So this is what it means to have a family. The woman placed her palms together, nodding. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. But Yevgeny frowned. Then, that means Huang never found a family. Not really. She blinked in confusion. What do you mean? His tone grew colder. A useless weakling can't be part of a family. Her face stiffened. What are you talking about? In a family, Yevgeny said, you have to prove you're worth keeping. You have to be useful to every member. If you're not, you become a burden, a parasite. He opened his mouth to continue, but the woman stood abruptly, slamming her hand on the table. That's not true, she snapped. That's not what a family is. Yevgeny stared at her in shock. Then what is the point of a family? Before she could answer, Cheyenne walked in, breaking the tension. He casually scooped Yevgeny up in his arms. Hey, he said, you finished eating? Turning to the woman, he asked, mind if we crash in the living room for a bit? Swinging Yevgeny slightly like a child, he grinned. The woman chuckled. Huang's room is free. Why not sleep there? Cheyenne ignored her and carried Yevgeny to the couch. This is perfect, he said, plopping down. You're on the floor. Yevgeny frowned. Seriously. The woman watched them with a smile, amused by their dynamic. Night fell. Yevgeny lay on the floor, scowling. I didn't think he'd actually make me sleep down here, he thought bitterly. He glanced at Cheyenne, sprawled out and snoring softly on the couch. Sitting up, Yevgeny noticed a light coming from one of the rooms. Quietly, he got to his feet and followed it. He opened the door slightly and peeked inside. There, in Huang's room, the woman sat in a chair, her head resting gently on the table. Her hand was on a photo frame, one showing her and Huang. Strange, Yevgeny thought. She's strange. He remembered how she smiled while serving food, how she called him part of her family. Even though he hadn't done anything to deserve it, he didn't understand her kindness. You have to be useful, the director had once told him. A useless child doesn't deserve a family. But now he also remembered her voice, defiant and full of warmth. That's not what a family is. That voice echoed in his mind. Then what is the point of a family? He asked himself again. Reaching into his waistband, Yevgeny pulled out the gun. I have to prove myself. I have to show I deserve a family. He raised the weapon, arms trembling. I have to prove it, he whispered urgently. But just then, the light in the room dimmed. Yevgeny looked up. Cheyenne stood at the door, his hand on the light switch, eyes locked on him. Yevgeny froze in place, terror rising. Cheyenne didn't speak. He just stared, his brow furrowed in quiet disappointment. Yevgeny's hands began to shake even more. Slowly, he lowered the gun. I was just following orders, he muttered weakly. Yevgeny pointed the gun at Cheyenne, eyes narrowed. Don't interfere, he ordered coldly. He pulled the trigger. Click. Nothing happened. Silence stretched between them. Cheyenne didn't flinch. Frowning in confusion, Yevgeny looked at the gun. Why didn't it fire? Cheyenne opened his hand, revealing a fistful of bullets. You got this from Rachel, right? He said calmly. I took it while you were sleeping. He dropped the bullets onto the floor. You were too careless. Cheyenne continued casually. 9mm parabellum. 15 rounds. That's 112.5 grams. You didn't even notice the magazine was empty? He looked at Yevgeny, disappointed. You're really just an amateur, huh? Yevgeny's expression darkened. He cursed, jaw clenched. With a flash of movement, he pulled a knife and lunged at Cheyenne. But Cheyenne dodged easily, caught his wrist, and slammed him back into the door. Yevgeny growled in frustration and slammed the handle down. The door flew open, and both of them stumbled inside, momentarily losing their footing. Inside, Huang's mother remained asleep at the table, unaware. Cheyenne noticed her and quickly raised a finger to his lips. Shoo! Calm down, he whispered. Just for a second. Okay? He shot Yevgeny a warning glare, then hissed quietly, urging him to stay quiet. Yevgeny glanced at the sleeping woman, then suddenly bolted toward her. You little! Cheyenne hissed. He chased after him, grabbing a tie from a nearby hanger as he ran. With a quick move, Cheyenne looped the tie around Yevgeny's leg and yanked, sending him crashing to the floor. Yevgeny turned, glaring, and slashed the tie with his knife. Cheyenne frowned, watching him rise. Yevgeny muttered his name. He looked different now, fierce, determined, dangerous. And that's where our video ends. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're updated on our next content. Until the next video, take care always.